Al, I have a question and a statement
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Okay, hit me.
Think you can take me? Don't forget me.
Oh my god. The true hero of this game.
God, what a way to introduce you to that game
Oh my god.
as the first actual bad guys you face, and that's just all they say constantly.
Over and over and over and over and over.
Oh boy, what a what a great lines of dialogue of the year. Yes, of course,
Yes. Yes, 1,000%.
dialogue of the decade.
Right. I mean, like, people thought that I'm Really Feeling It was a good one.
No,
And no, this one way surpasses. Beautiful. It is art.
I mean
Pure
it's
art.
yeah, it's simple, it's to the point, and it's like, hey, you think you can take me? Just don't forget me.
It also doesn't make any sense
No.
at all. I mean, it's more like I get Think You Can Take Me. That one makes sense, but don't forget me. Like,
Maybe
is it because I'm going to kill you?
or you're attacking someone else.
Oh, I don't know. Who the heck knows? Anyway,
Anyways, hello.
hi.
This is the seasonal anime checkup OVA episode 53. It's a podcast where we talk about video games, anime, and manga. We converse about them.
We do.
And today, we're going to talk about a game that collectively we have over 200 hours in the 13 days it's been out.
Yeah. I have a lot of hours into this. It's embarrassing.
The time played is a little bit skewed in someone else's direction compared to mine, let's just say.
It is a little skewed in one direction.
We're going to talk about the latest big Nintendo Switch release, Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
Yep.
The Dose.
That's Jared.
Hello, yeah, hi, I'm Jared. That's Ladyem, the
Hi.
Xenoblade expert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sort of, because
At least for
I
the
played
Chronicles
Xenoblade
series.
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Cross, and now 2. So I've been neck deep into lots of Xenoblade, and I mean, my playtime on the first one was also just ridiculously
Yes.
insane. So, and I've also played through it multiple times, and it's always that insane. It's a real problem.
I mean, there is the story of you basically getting beat up by a very high level enemy and then just grinding out so you could beat out that high level enemy.
Yeah. For clarification, in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, there is a part in the game where you're wandering around. You're like level 30 or something, and a level 99 T-Rex came up and bit me, and I died in one hit. I decided I was going to get to level 99, and I was going to destroy him. And I did. It was great. So satisfying.
You almost had another moment of that, and you're like, no, I can't do this. No.
I did.
Can't
I
happen
did.
again.
It happened again, and I was like, oh, God. Oh, no, it's going to happen again. But I mean, like, I'm already at level, 78 something, so...
Yeah. And you said you saw a level 130 enemy?
130.
So I guess the level cap has to be above 99.
That's insane.
Unless they're like, hey, you can fight this level 130 enemy for no reason, even though it's 30 levels ahead of you. That would be bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are going to pretty much have the same style of format that we usually have for new releases. We'll talk generally about the game, and then once we decide to go into spoiler territory, we'll give you a hard cut, give you a warning, and be like, hey, we're going to talk about spoilers, and then we'll talk about spoilers for the rest of the episode.
Give you time to get out.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Don't forget us.
Yes, that's also true. Oh. I feel like this game, and trying to determine whether I like it or not, has been the hardest I've had to deal with in quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I
Wow.
think there's a lot of this game is rough around the edges. in a variety of ways. Like I think performance wise, it's not great. There's quite a few times where like you'll be running through a town and like the frame rate will just like hitch up a little bit and just drop and feel real weird. Like it just like
I
going.
mean, my favorite thing is when you warp and there's just nothing
Yeah,
around you.
that's not good.
I thought it was funny though, because I'm just like, well, I'm walking on nothing. This is cool. I mean, it's not great. It shouldn't happen, but it was still funny to me. Also, when you're salvaging, often like the bare bones of your outfit will be there, and then eventually, like in the middle of the prompts, like the details of the outfit will pop in.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird texture pop in issues with this, which I'm assuming that's like with whatever engine they're using. That's
Yeah.
probably the problem. It's just a lot of weird things like that. And even like in battle, I had some like weird framey issues that I was like, this doesn't seem like this should be happening. And
Huh,
like,
that's weird. I didn't have any of that. Not in battle.
maybe it's just like something I noticed and you just didn't. But
Mm.
there's also the thing I think going around where like people are trying to say like, you know, it looks, I can't remember which it is. I think people are saying it looks worse in handheld mode and better on TV, which I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like, I feel like this game looks better in handheld and kind of looks like not great on TV. Like a lot of, I feel like a lot of like just the way the graphics are in terms of like there's like there's a lot of jagged edges to a lot of like the lines and everything, and it's kind of blurry in spots as well, and it feels basically like they took their Wii engine and tried to keep going with it all the way up to here, and like the graphics just not hold up as well.
I mean, it doesn't look like hot garbage
No,
though, either.
it doesn't. It feels like, especially if you compare this to, you know, like Mario and Zelda, which I know obviously those are Nintendo made, and this is
Yeah,
Monolith Soft.
that's
It's not necessarily a fair comparison, but like it feels like there's a big step in quality in terms of like just the way those graphics look between those games and this.
yeah, but that's really not fair.
Yeah, I understand that, but like it feels real weird, especially because, you know, Nintendo is making a big deal out of this, that for this game to have those many issues with it. And I know for me personally, like this bothered me. I probably didn't as much for you because you're probably used to it. The fact that this game doesn't have the voice or like the mouse sync up with the audio, and it only syncs up with the Japanese audio, feels just bad. Like that shouldn't happen in 2017.
But that's really common with Japanese games. Like really, really common, especially with smaller RPG companies like this. And I mean, even bigger companies like Square has an issue with that. They do it all the time.
I feel like though you see it less often though nowadays than you would maybe like 10 years ago. I mean, granted, this game came out simultaneously worldwide,
Yeah.
but with how much I feel like this game is just rough in terms of performance and like stuff like that, like I don't see why this game shouldn't have gotten like delayed just like 6 months so they could fix all that stuff up and then put it out, and where it performs better, it looks a little bit better. Maybe they can do that mouse syncing. If not, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But for Nintendo to just basically be like, look at all these issues that I'm having with it and say like, yeah, okay, cool, you can put that out, it seems real strange.
Maybe. I mean, like, I don't know. You seem to really have way more issues with it than I did.
Yeah,
Like, way
true.
more issues. Because I mean, I didn't really have many issues in terms of, like, things running poorly other than the, like, things not appearing.
Yeah.
And I mean, the mouth syncing doesn't really bother me that much because I've been playing games for so long that
Yeah,
are like RPGs, and it just that's how it's always been.
Yeah, I realize that that's nitpicky, but like sometimes it would just really take me out of like a scene because like you would see them like say you would see a character say a phrase or something, and it would just like their mouths just keep going afterwards. I'm like, oh, it just feels weird seeing that like this year, I guess comparatively, but I know that's not relative like a huge issue with it. I think some other things that are kind of problematic with this game are like, you know, the issues with quests, and like some of them will just get completely bugged. With the case of the wall scrolls that you had the issue with, and how
So it turns out that was just me being dumb
how was that you being dumb? Did you?
because I had already found it and I didn't realize that I had already found it. I found it the first time I went into the cave and I didn't know that I had already found it.
But you also had it like it had problems with like those markers just not showing up at all.
That too, yeah. I mean, like the one in Morardain didn't
Yeah.
show up ever. But
And with the fact that
yeah,
like you could cancel out another quest with that, or you could cancel out that quest by just using those items on a different quest, that's not good.
yeah, no, that should be fixed by a patch. Like I really think that should be fixed. But I was happy that that didn't happen for
Yeah.
me.
And also just like there's a lot of like random crashes that are happening with this game.
I did have it crash a few
Yeah.
times.
I had it only happen once, and I basically started saving a lot more frequently, and I didn't have one after that. But
Mm.
I've seen around like parts on the internet where people are being like, yeah, this game does have a lot of crashing issues, which that's also not a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think it crashed twice on me.
There was something else. Oh, and I know like we talked about this, and like I think the map could have been a lot better, and they are addressing that thankfully, which I'm real excited for. And the fact that like, hey, they're gonna kind of try and differentiate between like, oh, is this above or below you? Because on the mini map, like you'll try and find something, and it'll just kind of just be like, it's in this area, but you won't know if it's like if you're on top of it or if you're below it, and that can make trying to find things a little bit more difficult than they probably should be. But also, like that's me being nitpicky.
Yeah, because it does have some of that. It has the little arrows up and down depending on like your direction thing. And again, having played the other Xenoblade games, it was a huge improvement to have this kind of tracking system anyway.
Which sounds crazy.
Um, and I mean, there were so many improvements over the first Xenoblade Chronicles that made me so happy. One of them being like the collection spots.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the first game, you would just have little blue orbs that you'd have to run around and collect.
Right.
And there were all kinds of quests. They're like, I need this item. And you'd have to run around and find them. And then, like, it would take a certain amount of real time for them to respawn.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is just like, oh, I can warp back in and it respawns automatically. I can just collect from there and then leave out, respawn, etc. So that was a huge improvement. Having the tracking system on there, the map is so much better. There's a lot of questing improvements, and I guess it helps that I've been recently playing it, the original one with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of like very current comparisons in my brain.
Right.
It's been a while since I played Cross, but Cross is kind of a different animal.
Yeah. I think just for me as well, though, that like I would have liked if they had included like, okay, if you go to this part of the map, you will find these items, and I think that would have helped a lot more, especially for a lot of like the collecting quests that you get. So like, because it'll be like, oh, go find this many items, but it kind of really, I think it might tell you if like you're following like the dialogue, but if like you come back to it later on, you're gonna be like, well, I have to search through like this entire part of the world just to find like a few items. So like I think that could have been like something that would have definitely helped in terms of like those types of quests specifically.
Yeah, I mean, you get certain things that like if it's a moss thing, they're like, oh, you should look near water.
And they basically do that for like if you have to go find monsters to kill and it's a quest. So like I feel like there could have been like a little bit of an overlap there, and they could have done those things, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean that would be weird if they're like, here's the exact collect point that you have to go to.
Yeah, I'm not even like saying like, hey, go this, have it show you the exact collect point. I'm just saying like, hey, if you're in this part of the map, these are the items that are going to be able to be spawned if you find them, which it doesn't do.
There was this one item, and I'm just going to mention this because rage. In the first game, there was this one item. It was like a black liver bean or something weird like that.
What everyone wants.
And it spawned in one place at a certain time. You could pick like one up. It had a very low percentage spawn rate as well. You could pick one up, and then you have to wait several hours real time for it to reload.
Mm-hmm.
It was so difficult.
Right.
So I didn't have as many bash my head against the wall moments as that freaking bean, which I was amused because at one point I went to a collect point and it just gave me a bunch of those beans, and I'm like, it's the same name as the one from the first game.
They knew.
Oh my God. It was so annoying. But they have a bunch of the like a lot of the item names are the same from the first game, which is cool.
Right. Which, speaking of, we were talking about drops here.
Mm.
I think one of the most egregious things this game does is basically implement a gachapon system.
Yeah, that was a little rage inducing.
So it's
That's one of the few things that I really, really don't like about this
yeah,
game. I like this game way more than you do, but that's one thing that I'm like, no, we could have gone without this.
like essentially, you get blades, and those are like they help you attack, and you
They're
can
essentially party members
yeah, basically, and then like they have different like elementals and all that sort of stuff.
and skills.
The way to get them is you collect core crystals, and core crystals can be divided up into common core crystals, rare core crystals, and legendary core crystals.
Hmm.
Of course, with as you go up in rarity, you would think like, oh, of course, like if I get a legendary one, I'm probably going to get a rare one at least.
Nope.
No, you will still get commons in there, and especially so with rares, you will get commons in there, and it's a bad system, especially even for someone like me who's like played a bunch of free to play gachapon games. Like it's not good. Like you shouldn't have that in this type of game, and like we were talking about this, and the idea I implemented was like, okay, make the core crystals a currency, and you could still have like common, rare, and legendary. They would just mean they would be worth more specifically. So like you could find like, oh, you want to buy this rare blade, it could be like 20 common or 10 rare or like a legendary, something like that, and they would just be purchasable that way instead of being like, well, I have to go through each of these individually, and hopefully one of my characters has a high enough luck stats that they'll be able to get a rare blade, and I'm not sitting here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I had the worst time getting rare
Yeah.
blades. I got so many legendary crystals throughout the game because I quest a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I got zero rare blades from legendaries.
Yeah, I was the same. Even though I didn't get any
Yeah,
until like the very, very end of the game. I had the common luck. Hashtag common luck.
I had none.
Which
I think I
somehow
got two from common luck.
I think I got like at least half of mine from commons, which is real
Yeah,
dumb.
insane.
So yeah, like it sucks.
That could have been better.
It
Yeah.
should have been better, yeah. Like I understand like, hey, it's a Japanese game, and gachapon games are, and that style of prize winning, I guess you could say, is very, very popular over there.
Right.
But I don't think it translates well to this style of game, and especially a $60 game. I mean, at least like it's not like, oh, hey, put some more money into this, and maybe you'll get like you can buy more core crystals and stuff like that. Like at least it's not that egregious.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm happy about is it doesn't make you actually pay to get the blades.
Yeah,
It could have been worse.
it could have been worse. Thankfully, it wasn't. I know we'll talk about story when we get into spoilers, but I think like one of the issues I had with the story is that it was kind of basic in terms of storytelling. Like if you've seen a lot of like shonen style tropes before, you'll see them again in this. And like I don't know necessarily if it really does anything that interesting with the story. Like it's
Oh,
fine.
I liked it.
Yeah. Like I think overall I liked it. I think it's fine, but it's nothing like groundbreaking, I think. But also, we'll get into this a little bit later. Like I'm coming from this without having gone through the first Xenoblade Chronicles,
Mhm.
and then there was some stuff at the very end of the game that you were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this is real cool that they're doing this," and I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So maybe like some of that's lost on me, and that kind of hinders my appreciation for the story.
I think if you had played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and played all the way through it, got the end,
Mhm.
and then played this one, that end would have had a much bigger impact on you. Much
I'm
bigger
sure.
impact. Because it was amazing what they did. The tie-in of the two games is just something I never would have expected, and I loved how they did it.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there like, man, this is a really long cutscene. Wow, they're really explaining a lot. This is a big info dump.
Yeah, so I will say, guys, if you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I would definitely recommend playing it or at least watching like the last part of it on YouTube or something because it really helps to know what happened in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 to understand what happens in the end of 2.
Which is strange because I think, like, especially like the marketing going into this, like, it seemed like these were two completely separate games, even though it was a numbered sequel.
I think that's what would indicate that it's connected is because Cross was not connected at all,
Right.
and they made it very clear. But this one is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I mean,
But I mean, like,
so,
look at the Final Fantasy games.
right, true. But I just feel like it was done in a way that like it made sense.
Yeah. It just seemed
But
like, just before, like, when you would, before getting into this game, like, that these weren't connected, and like you don't really get that sense that they're connected until, at least what I'm assuming is that, like, until like near the very end of the game is when they
yeah, there
start
were
putting those threads together.
there were a few like nods towards the first game throughout it that I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's like a neat Easter egg. And then they got to the end of it and I was like, oh shit, this is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So yeah, can recommend do that before you play the ending of
Yeah.
this. Which immediately once all that stuff started happening, I texted my brother. I'm like, we have to have you finish Xenoblade Chronicles 1 before we have you play this because I mean, it's mind blowing what they did with it. I was so happy. Like that connection is not anything I ever would have expected, and I loved what they did.
We'll get into that in spoilers because I'll be like, hey, explain to me all these connections because I have no idea what they're about.
All right. So yeah, just without spoilers, play Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or at least watch the end parts of it before you play this because it'll help. One thing that's not spoilery that I do want to talk about, and it's one of the other things that I don't like about this game,
Oh, right,
is
right.
most of the character designs.
Are bad.
Yeah. And there are some characters in here that I'm like, oh, this is a neat design. I really like it. And then, like, later on, they're like, well, you like that costume. We're going to completely change it and sexualize this character. I'm like, oh, welp.
Like, I think there's one character,
There's one who stays in her same outfit the entire time, and
which
it's
is,
like a decent outfit.
it's genuinely shocking.
Yes, it is. And like the blade designs, I get that they brought in a bunch of different teams, which I guess it should be mentioned that Monolith doesn't have its own like dedicated character designer.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in a bunch of different character designers. And in certain instances, that leads to some nightmarish blades.
Yeah, like, I feel like when you're doing that, like, I mean, obviously, they have to do this, but like when you're like spreading it out that far, you're not going to be able to rein all these character designers in to like have a centralized design motif. And
Yeah.
it's just like it feels like everything kind of just got out of hand, where it was just like boobs everywhere, and you're just like, ugh.
And like boobs are fine, but like the way that they do some of these boobs are just really inappropriate. And I think you mentioned that like one or some of them were like hentai artists.
Yeah, I think some of like at least I saw this somewhere, but like some of the character designers, like they also do hentai stuff as well. So
Makes sense. Um, and another thing that is kind of weird about it is that because a lot of the character designers were brought in, like there's a really big disparity between like women blades and men blades. Like there's a lot of women blades and a lot of them are very scantily clad. And it's really upsetting because I don't think it really needed it.
no, like there's really no point to it.
Yeah, I mean, the first game had Charla, which she was one of the characters that like whenever she breathed, her boobs would move, but she was one character.
And this is like you have 30 of those.
Yeah, and I mean, it just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And like at one point you texted me, you're like, is there another booby lady? And I'm like, oh, wow. There's so many. And like I said, there's no problem with boobs. I don't have a problem with boobs. It's just a problem with like There's so many of them. There's no variety whatsoever. It's either you have zero or you have massive.
It's all male
Um,
skewed like fan service. Like
oh yeah,
there's no guys out there that are like that they designed. They're like, I'm shirtless or something like that. I mean, there's like one, I think maybe, but like even then, it's like it's
it's
not.
very male gazy.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to like the other like the women designs.
And wait, are we talking about like blades that are designed like towards women, or are we talking about main
I was
characters?
talking about blades, but I mean you could take that to
Okay.
main characters as well.
Okay, because yeah, we'll talk about him eventually. In spoiler zone, we will talk about him, but we are not there yet. Although one thing I will appreciate, which we joked around about this via text, is that Rex's shorts are about as short as Pyra's, so
It's so goofy.
at least it's equal opportunity on the shorty
He's
shorts.
got like these giant leg armor, and then it's like the short shorts.
Well, and it's funny because whenever he like suits up to go salvage, like he covers his legs there. I'm like, why don't you just wear them all the time? But I mean, maybe he's proud of his legs and he just wants to show them off. He's like, I got great thighs, y'all. Let's check them out. And, but power to him, Rex. Power to you, Rex.
Teenager very very much likes his own thighs.
You show off them thighs, boy. Have fun. So there was at least that hilarity, but yeah, it was, to be blunt, gross.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I was really put off by in the game. And if I have like one huge criticism of the game, it'd be that.
Yeah, I think that's so blatant that it's like it's just extremely gross.
Well, and like I don't know if you've gone at all into any kind of like Xenoblade 2 internet world. Don't.
Probably a good idea.
Because all you'll see is just people defending this and
Oh yeah,
basically
of
like
course.
talking about how like they want to fap to it and that kind of nonsense. And it's like, guys,
What a
really?
shocker.
Like, it's so gross. I don't. Ugh. And it really is a shame because a lot of the characters are pretty well written, and I'm like, you didn't need it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, variety is the spice of life. We'll put it that way. Put it that way.
I mean,
That's all I can say.
as much as we hate Tetsuya Nomura,
Yeah, I do hate Nomura.
at least the characters he designed were not horrifically fan serviced.
Okay, but at the same time,
They all
the
looked weird.
one woman that he did design had on like battle panties.
Oh, okay. I did not remember that. So
The one woman in his group had on panties and like her entire legs were shown. So
well, forget that
everybody
notion
else
then.
had on full armor. So yeah, Nomura is no better. He just didn't make it with obscene boobs.
And he just made all those characters look completely different from everyone else in the game, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like here's these Final Fantasy characters that have just been transported into this game.
Which we have a joke about RPGs that there's always a Final Fantasy looking mother.
Yes.
And which sorry, you'll have to edit that.
It's
but
fine.
There's always one in every RPG. And in this one, I'm like, well, at least having the Final Fantasy mother makes sense in this game because he literally made the game.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. It's bizarre. But honestly, to his credit, I like some of his designs in this.
It's shocking.
I know. I still hate him, and I still don't think he deserves any props whatsoever for his like female character design. But I don't know. I didn't think his were terrible.
They were just there.
Although there was one that I was like, really, Nomura? Really? That's the route you're gonna go? Which again, we'll talk about in Spoilerville. But like, I hate him sometimes. Actually, I hate him 99.9% of the time.
The other 0.1% of the time, it's just like,
I'm probably asleep.
it's true.
But I don't know. It was bizarre that he was a character designer in there, and they like made it very, very clear that he was designer in that. Like it was in the marketing.
Yeah, it's like we made it such a big deal because we got no more, and it's like, really? You got that guy?
Yeah.
Let me ask you about another potentially controversial topic.
Okay.
What do you think of the dub?
I actually didn't hate it. There were certain parts that like lines were delivered in a weird way, but for the most part, and I'd say like 97% of the dub was fine.
I think that's kind of like my issue with it. Like I think it's fine, but I think delivery is a big problem with it. Cuz like like you said, like there's a few times where like, or maybe more than a few times where it just feels like some lines are delivered real weird and awkwardly. And I think other times as well, like the way the dub portrays some of the characters, like I don't think they give out as much emotion as the character is showing on screen. So I feel like there's kind of a disconnect there. But other than that, it's also, I guess you could say it's a strange dub because it's a lot of like Western European style accents.
Oh, okay, that's not weird because the original Xenoblade
Yeah.
had all British accents. It's done by the same localization team. It was handled by a like British localization.
Yeah, the only reason I would say it's strange is just because like you don't hear a lot of like dubs that are like that for English dubs specifically. So that's the only
But I
reason I would
thought
say
it
it's
was great
strange.
that they continued that
Yeah,
from
true.
the first game. And I mean, like the first game, they did it because it was localized in like Britain,
Right.
and then they weren't going to bring it over here. And then like, well, we already have this, so we'll just bring it in that way. And then people liked it, so that for the second game, they're like, oh, we'll just continue to do that. But it was done by a British team.
Yeah.
Like the localization was done, the vocals were done. That makes sense. I have no problem with that. Which I did see somebody online. I was like, man, everybody is terrible except for Pyra. And somebody commented on them, and they're like, oh, right. And somebody commented back, they're like, so the only one with an American accent is the one that you don't think is terrible? And I'm like, yeah, good point. And Pyra is honestly the worst out of the entire group.
There's a lot of delivery that she does. It's just so flat and like, it's not great.
All the props, I think Rex's voice actor did a great job.
Yeah, I think like he kind of also has some problems like with his emotion and like the way he delivers it. Like it feels a little bit underwhelming in terms of, like when he's like real angry, he kind of like undersells some of the line delivery. But like for the most part, yeah.
Also, I love Nia. I love Nia's voice, which she is mega Welsh, but and there's certain lines that she says that I'm like, I have no idea what this girl just said. No idea.
I did see that like
so I'm glad there's subs.
I did see that like this game and I think like the Witcher games share some voice actors, which I like. That makes complete sense.
But I honestly really, really liked, for the most part, like I said, 97% of it I think is great. And I'd say I'm just gonna call her party member 4 for right now. Like her voice actor, you can't say that. It's spoilers.
I'll just bleep that out.
Yeah, it's spoilers. So there's a trend with Xenoblade, and I'll let you into this now. Whenever you get your core 3, anybody after that you refer to as a number because they're always spoilers.
Apologies.
So she's 4 and then he's 5. There's also one that is you could call 6,
but not really.
But
just for a section.
Yeah. But
only good thing that person does is give you like great health potions that pop out.
Yeah. But yeah, you always refer to them as numbers because it's spoilers. But anyway, number 4's voice actor, she did a really good job. I was very, very impressed. And then 5, I want to talk more about in spoiler section because I can't talk about his voice actor without referring to his character. But he's phenomenal. He's my favorite, hands down. Number 5. Also, we got more like Napon voice acting this time, which is kind of cool.
Was there like not a lot of that in like the other games?
Not a whole lot. I mean, there was some in Cross, more in Cross than in the original.
Speaking of
And
Cross,
yeah,
that wasn't the way they dubbed that. That was not the same as the like Chronicles 1 and Chronicles 2, was it? Because it was a lot of like American actors in it.
it was. But also like the main actor you would choose. But specifically why they did American is because it's New LA.
Right. That makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense to have a
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. In a fantasy setting such as this, it doesn't really matter
Yeah. You can get away
where
with
the
whatever you
voices
want.
come from. But saying New LA, like it'd be weird if they all had British accents.
Hey, we don't know what happened to old LA.
Oh, I do know what happened in New L or Old LA because I played the game.
But yeah, that dub's fine. I didn't download the Japanese one just because it was a big download and I just didn't want to wait. But I've heard good things about that if you want to play it through with that as well. So you have options.
I just always have a hard time with Japanese dubs because I multitask a lot, and so I have to like I'll put the system down and have the sound up
Right, yeah.
so I can listen to it, but do something else.
That's fair.
So and also like I'm sure that they know this. I am a huge defender of dubs, and I will be. I will tell you if it's a bad dub, but this is not. This was not a bad dub. It's not the best dub I've ever heard, but it's not a bad one either.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Let's talk about something that we both also can agree about.
Okay.
Soundtrack.
Ooh.
I like how weird this soundtrack is.
Which is also very, very
In line with like Xenoblade,
it's Xenoblade. Yeah. It's great. It is a great soundtrack. And they kind of keep up with the same general like themes of it.
Yeah.
Like the first world, you have like a big sweeping like plains music. The second world is kind of like mystical-ish sounding. Like that's very, very normal for the series. There's one that's kind of like mechanical sounding. Yeah.
Basically, if you picked out songs from this and placed them with songs from the first game, they probably wouldn't sound that out of place.
Mm-mm. Also, the battle themes are great. I don't know that anything will ever come close to and you will know our names.
Yeah,
but
that's true. That's a high bar.
It is a high bar, but they did some solid work here.
I really like the boss theme, just because it sounded like such a weird mishmash of instruments that it doesn't sound like they should go together, but they do. I was like, I'm into this. All right.
And it's interesting because it's a mishmash of instruments that don't feel like they go together. So it kind of gives you like I don't want to say a high sense of stress, but it gives you a sense of like
it amps up the tension,
uncomfortableness that is good for a boss fight.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. It's really, really good.
Is there anything else we can talk about that's not spoilery?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so
I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what else can we talk about that's not spoilery? I think we're gonna have to
dive in. So yeah.
cut them off.
So you're a big fan of this game.
Mm-hmm. I am.
I am. I think it's fine. I'll say fine. Like if I did numbers of this game, this would probably be. This is gonna sound harsh, but I promise you it's not. This would be like a 6. It's average. It's fine.
Isn't that like what you gave 5, Persona 5?
Was it?
I think so.
Well.
Ew. No, maybe you gave that one a 4. I don't remember.
I probably gave 5 a lot lower score. Like, for me, like a 4 to 6, that's like an average range. Like that game's fine. It has problems, but you know, it's okay. I'm not like a person who'd be like, oh, it's a 7 out of 10 for everything. There are numbers below that you can use. Yeah, like it's a 6 for me. I have problems with it, but like overall it's fine.
And see, I'd probably give it closer to like an 8 or an 8.5.
Yeah. That's completely fair. We have opinions.
They exist.
It's true. And hey, the difference between a 6 and an 8 is not that much.
2 points, actually.
Exactly.
But I think probably you would have given it higher if you had finished 1 first.
Maybe, like, I don't...
Because the ending would have stuck better for you.
I mean, true, but I don't know if that's enough to overcome, like, all the other issues I have with it. And also, like, the end, I don't like the end, which we'll get into spoilers.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, the ending
I get what you
lead
mean.
up and all that.
I just don't know if that would be enough to overcome, like, the other issues I have with it. But, like, hey, I don't know. That's a hypothetical, so maybe it would have, maybe
I just think
it
would make it less generic for you if you knew, like, what was happening there.
That, yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. Like, I think that would be a good argument. Because looking at it by itself and not knowing the context for a lot of stuff, like, you know, some of that ending stuff did kind of feel generic, even though, like, there were some cool elements to it. It did still feel like, oh, well, here's some, like, more tropey stuff with it. But with the other context, if I had, you know, either watched the ending or played through Xenoblade 1, like, you know, it probably would have hit me a lot better, and I probably would have liked it a lot better.
So you might have given it like a 6.5 at that point.
True. True. But yes, we are going to dive into spoilers now. 40 minutes into this podcast, so...
Well, it's always good to give people like a general sense of what we feel before we get into like the real big spoilers.
So yeah, if you haven't played yet and you want to play, or you're in the middle of playing, because this is a long game.
Mm-hmm.
Holy this is the part where you got to tune out. We will see you next week, where we have a Christmas episode. There's a spoiler for you. So yeah, we'll see you next week if you get to tune out. If not, come join us for some spoiler talk. Come into the spoiler lounge with us.
Spoilerville.
There's jazz playing. It's a nice, cool, calm, relaxing atmosphere. You're in the spoiler lounge.
Why aren't we playing music from the game?
Because I would get completely taken off of like all platforms that we were on if that happened.
Well, no, I mean like in our lounge.
Oh, these are jazz.
It's not
these are jazz renditions of the soundtrack, of course.
All right.
That's how we do things in the spoiler lounge. Where do we even begin with spoilers? That's the real question. Because holy, there's a lot to this game.
Yeah, there's a lot to this game.
I mean, like we said at the outset, you know, we have a combined 200 hours in this game. Like I finished up with like 76, I think, and that's basically me going from like midway to the end, just kind of like just streamlining the main story. And you ended up with like 150 plus hours.
I'm currently at 158 because I'm letting it run with some quests while we're doing this,
which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. I have a problem.
Oh, hang on. Let's do some math here. Everyone's favorite, you know. We all love to do math. This is probably not going to be a good calculation, but we'll go with 13. According to this basically says you have averaged playing this game 12 hours a day since release.
I mean, that doesn't seem inaccurate, honestly. I think the only day that wouldn't
would be when you
count for is
traveled.
when I drove. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, seems right.
And probably as well, you've left it on and idled, so like that's not technically an accurate representation of how much you've played the game per se, but it's up there.
Well, putting it on idle for quests, yes, but not just like leaving it on for no reason. I would always leave it up if I was doing some kind of like mercenary quest that needed time.
Yeah. But yeah, like regardless, there's a lot to this game.
There's a lot, and I don't even know that we have to go through like a deep dive of the story. I think if we hit like key points and talk about the characters and talk about the ending, I think we're solid.
So I think like, you know, I said like I felt like a lot of this game, or like the story was kind of generic and cliched and played into a lot of like, especially anime tropes specifically. because you have your chosen one, who's Rex, and then you get a cavalcade of villains who are like, I'm the bad guy. Wait, no, hang on. I'm the bad guy. Wait, no, hang on. I'm the bad guy. And then like the first bad guy's like, wait, hang on, no guys, I'm the real bad guy here. Don't worry.
Well, I think that it was a group of bad guys. I don't know that it was just like them
Well, I would
jumping between
say,
who's the bad guy. Like they were a villain troop.
well, I mean like more towards like the main bad guy. Like I would say like it goes from Malice, and then you get Jin for like the middle part of it. And then by the end of it you get Jin still, and then you get the Praetor dude who just kind of just swoops in and is like, no, I want to be the bad guy now. And then at the very end, it's Mallows. And essentially all of them kind of have this like the same connection of like, hey, what if I was God? Hey, what if I was God? Hey, what if I was
Which
God?
is a very Xenoblade thing. Very Xenoblade.
Which, hey, again, if I had context for that, that would make a lot more sense. It would not feel as generic.
Yeah, it's a very Xenoblade thing. Because specifically there is a character in Xenoblade 1 who's like, so what if I was a god? And there is a huge, huge impact of why, like, what happens when he decides that.
And for this, you get multiple characters being like, hey, what if I was a god?
So the way that I read it is that Jin was your main villain for most of the game. Because they played it up as Malice kind of like pulling the strings, but that Jin was the bad guy.
I feel like,
because they're always saying, we're going after Jin, we're going after
Right.
Jin, we're going after Jin. Then, the Praetor comes in, you're like, oh, okay, well, he's also bad. You can tell by looking at him. But he's kind of what set a lot of this into motion in the first place.
correct.
So you need him there.
Correct, yeah. I won't deny
And
that.
then once both of the other villains are gone, you realize, oh, it's been Malos pulling the strings the whole time.
But I think they kind of like, they give you enough that you know that it is still him pulling the strings the entire time, even though you're going after Jin.
Yeah, because I mean, the whole game, he's like, well, we're doing Jin's will. So he I don't know, it's like the ultimate of romances or something.
It basically felt like Jin was leading Torna, but
Jin was leading
yes,
Torna.
yes, but Malus was the mastermind behind it. Like he was the one who was going to execute all of these bad plans, regardless of what happens. And you knew at some point, like he's going to be the big bad guy. I think, at least that's kind of how it felt to me. Like even though like there's a good like 2/3 of that game where you are chasing Jin. Like it starts out with Malus. And he's like, hey, I'm the bad guy. And then, like, Jin starts to take the focal point after that for the most part of it. And then Malice kind of gets shifted off to the backside a little bit. But he essentially, he's running parallel with Rex, where they both have the same common goal. And, obviously those two goals are going to collide at some point. And I felt like to me, like, that made him more of, like, the main bad guy, even though they were pushing Jin a lot in that. And as well, like, it did feel real weird that I called Jin's archetype at the very outset of the video game.
Well, I don't know. I still don't agree with you on Malos like being played up at first, because he was always played as the henchman of Jin until later.
I mean, at the very beginning,
Jin is the one who killed you.
Yes, at the very beginning, I feel like he is, but like. After that, when you go up against him with Van Damme, Malice is definitely the big bad guy there. And then after that, like it becomes more him and Jin switch a little bit, and then Jin takes the focal point from there.
But the whole time he's still saying it's Jin's will. So you're still ultimately going after Jin. It wasn't Malos until the very, very end.
I feel like it was Jin and Malos for a lot of it though too.
All right.
Like they were a combo package. Essentially, you couldn't take out one without taking out the other.
I feel like more they were playing up Malos as just part of Torna rather. I mean, like they said that he was the Aegis as well, but I think that they were making him into like a sidekick.
I mean, yeah, like I think they are trying to do that, but like for me personally, I don't think I ever got that vibe that he was just the sidekick. Like I always kind of felt like he was the one really pulling the strings. But maybe that's just me. So, because like it was like we kind of talked about, I think early on in the game, that like that like they just felt like they were just going to stab each other in the back anyways at some point. Like the way that Torna was kind of put together was like they are a hair away from everyone just literally killing each other.
Which I made a joke that I was like, maybe literally, and you made like a shocked face. I'm like, that's not a spoiler, I promise.
I mean,
because I realized afterwards, I'm like, oh god, that could be interpreted as a spoiler because they're probably going to do that.
It would have been the least surprising spoiler of all time. So
right, like the entirety of Torna was very, very tension filled.
Let me ask you, because I felt weird about this.
Okay.
How did you feel about the way they kind of turned Torna into slightly to the good side by the end? Because it feels like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, oh no, we're gonna help you guys. It's like, what? Huh?
I think it was in a way to make them sympathetic, but they realized at that point that like the Praetor had to go down, and the Praetor was the source of most of Torna's problems.
Right. It just, I don't know, like.
So it was kind of like a, help my enemy to get rid of my ultimate enemy, because I mean, all of them were messed up by the Praetor, and that's the whole reason that they wanted to destroy the world in the first place, was because of what the Praetor did to them. So they kind of had a common goal at that point, so it makes sense that they would work together.
Do you think, though, the story lends itself enough credibility to where it makes them sympathetic?
Oh, I had a huge amount of sympathy for Torna by the end, and that's one thing I texted you, was that like Torna to me was super well written, in the sense that like I cared about what they wanted, even if I didn't think it was right. Like I cared. And I cared about their backstory. Like I was always really excited whenever I got Torna backstory, because I wanted to know more about them. Like they were good villains.
I don't know. Like for me, like I don't necessarily, I didn't buy the sympathetic ploy at the very end. Like the glasses dude, who I forget his name.
Akos.
Yeah, him. At the very end, they're like, oh hey, he's all right, guys. I was like, that guy was a asshole this entire time. Like I don't really feel that bad about him dying here. So, like, I mean, I kind of felt more bad for, like, his sister. And even to a lesser extent, Jin. But, like, him, I was like, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was a jerk. But also, like, the way he died was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of not cool. And, again, he'd been really, really messed around. And so you can, I mean, not that trauma excuses, like, abusive types of scenarios, but like he was a messed up kid who got a lot of superpowers and didn't really know what to do with them.
That's true.
And then decided to go on a revenge quest and ended up losing everything in the way.
And was a jerk.
Along the way. And he was a jerk. He looks like HB though, if anybody played Cross. If you turn HB's glasses red, I was like, oh hey, that's neat. Also, unfortunately, one of the most attractive dudes in the entire game. I was like, God, you're an asshole, but you look nice. So that was unfortunate. And when I was looking through the art book, the way that Nomura drew him, I thought it was a woman.
Huh.
At first. And then, like, when I started playing the game, I was like, oh, you are not a woman. Okay. Go look in the art book when you have a shot, and look at the way that Nomura actually did that. You didn't get the special edition?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
Nope.
I have to send you a picture then. But the way that he drew him looks very, very, very lady.
Feminine?
Yes.
I think like if we're continuing with the villains, like there was quite a few times I think I got kind of real frustrated with how the story was, where like it would feel like, okay, I'm finally making progress against these people, and then right away they just cut the legs right out from under you, and like, okay, well now I'm a lot more powerful, so fuck you.
Yeah, you texted me once. You're like, they never get their comeuppance, but
they do eventually. But like, man, like 60 hours of that game, they don't, and it's frustrating.
But the way they go down is really brutal.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't want to say it's satisfying because that's wrong, but like
that's a good point. Like I don't think I felt satisfied for them when they did get their comeuppance. So that's a weird dichotomy there.
I mean, it was a brutal way for them to go down. Legitimately, I felt awful for all of them.
Did you feel awful for Malos?
He doesn't count.
Okay.
No, like Jin, Akos, what's it, Patroka, something like that. I think it's her name.
Yeah.
It starts with a P. And then Mikhail, which Mikhail was my favorite out of all of them.
He was like the rogue
Mikhail.
wolf of Torna. He was doing whatever he wanted to do essentially.
Mm-hmm. He also reminded me a lot of Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. He's like if Zell and Irvine from Final Fantasy VIII had a baby. I really liked him. I really liked him. He was awesome. But yeah, he was my favorite out of all of Torna, and I felt really bad when he died. Rip.
Rip in peace.
But he was bound and determined he was going to get rid of that Praetor. I'm like, you know what? Good on you, bud. Good on you.
And then the Praetor just shows back up with like tentacles, and you're like, oh, well, welp.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you have to give the guy credit. He freaking kamikazed them.
tried.
Like, that's intense.
Boy, did he try.
He did. And after, like, admitting his love for somebody, so it was rough.
Tragic ending.
It hurt me. Yeah, everybody died. It was very sad.
Everyone does die, pretty much. Well, of the villains.
Yeah. And, I mean, by the end of it, I really, really liked Jin.
Yeah. I kind of, like, always felt, though, like, they were going to turn him, because, like, he was always the one that was, like, you had an inkling of, oh, well, he's saying all of these things, but I don't necessarily think he actually means all of these things he wants to do.
I forgot exactly how I worded it. I said that he was like a heartbroken edgelord.
Yeah, something like that.
Because legitimately, like his entire like plot line is like that he was in love, and then like blades are not supposed to like exist after their driver dies, and he still exists, and he knows what happened, and it's sad, and he like kept her body on ice.
Yeah, which is I kept thinking like at some point he was gonna resurrect her, but no, she was just kind of there as like this weird shrine piece. Which in retrospect now, like that's kind of creepy.
It is creepy, but I feel like that says a lot about like his mindset.
Yeah, true. I think that totally does.
It says a lot about it, but and I think it's also why he was so easily manipulated by Malos in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like Torna. They sucked, but I liked them.
Jin was Sephiroth if you put Sephiroth into the Gundam universe.
Oh my god, they even made it. Nomura made him look like Sephiroth. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. Like he had butt wings and everything. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? He's Sephiroth. And I text you. I'm like, he had a Sephiroth moment. When you got there, you're like, oh.
Yep.
It was really, really weird.
Can you call plagiarism on yourself there?
I don't know. I mean, that was straight up like dollar store Sephiroth right there.
Just put a mask on him. That'll totally change it.
I don't even think he had the mask at that point. Because that was when he had his
butt flaps
crystal showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even still, like he has it for like half the game, so.
Yeah, true. But yeah, he straight up pulled a Sephiroth, and I'm like, wow, not even being subtle there, bud. Run out of ideas. Yeah, I like Torna. They also kind of did the same thing with Morag in the sense that like she was played up as a villain first.
That's true, but like I don't think she wasn't really necessarily as villainy as like they were. She was like low tier villain that you kind of felt like, okay, eventually she's gonna work with us.
Yeah, I mean, I figured like her design was pretty rad, so she was gonna end up somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was cool. I liked Morag, but they did kind of pull the whole like "is she or isn't she" type scenario. Mm-hmm. I liked her. I liked her a lot.
Yeah, and she's the one character that they didn't completely destroy her design with.
Thank God.
The most shocking thing of that video game.
But the thing that upset me about her is that there is a heart to heart where there's another blade, and I can't remember which one it is, that's talking to her. It might be Zeke's blade. But anyway, she's like, well, and Zeke says it too. Like, they joke about how manly she is, and I'm like, that's not nice. Because Zeke says it later in a different heart to heart, and he's like, you're the most manly out of all of us. Which, but her design, in my opinion, was super cool.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite of the game. She reminds me a lot of
Snap Fingers.
Lucina from Fire Emblem.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, I was getting that kind of vibe.
Could buy that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
And then you get Zeke.
My fave. I love Zeke. I know people are going to hate him, but I loved him because he reminds me of a JoJo character.
I feel like at first the first couple times you interact with him, he really borders the line of like bad anime humor. But I think like once you actually get him in your party and like he kind of starts to settle down, I think I started liking him more then.
Oh, I loved Zeke from the very beginning. I'm like, you're wonderful. I love Zeke. Zeke and Pandoria were funny because like they always did like the same poses. Which I don't know if you even like paid attention, but whenever they were doing cutscenes and they were next to each other, they were always doing the same poses. And if Zeke changed poses, she would change poses with him.
It's real good.
And I love that they kept it going the whole game. Because they could have just like let it go after a few cutscenes,
right?
But they didn't. They stuck with it. She just kept following his poses, and like that is so funny.
It's also kind of
I loved it.
It's interesting to see like the way his characterization is. Like, you know, he's like the kind of prototypical like Chunibyo character that's usually in anime, but he's an adult.
Yeah.
So I thought that was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. I found out from another quest that he's 25. So, but he also has a really cool backstory in the sense that like he's been ejected from his country. And he's been taken in by the Praetor, and then like now he's having to realize that the guy's a
yeah,
and he's having to like fight his own dad to save his friends and everything. So I mean, like
he's got to take in a lot over like
Zeke comes off as like a joke character a lot, but he has a really interesting backstory.
Yeah, I would agree with
I mean,
that.
even his like Blade Eater status is pretty radical. I thought it was cute, like his relationship with Pandoria. Pandy?
Pandy.
I think her name wasn't her name Pandoria?
I think so. At least that's what I remember it as.
Yeah, I think it's Pandoria, but I thought it was a cute relationship. Yeah, Pandoria. I just looked it up. I also liked her shorts.
I liked how her joints were just light bulbs.
I thought that was neat too. And she has a little tail with a light bulb at the end. Like there was this one part in a quest that I was doing. I was like, what is that? Like, why is there a floating light bulb in this scene? And then I realized it was her tail. I'm like, oh, I never knew she had a tail. It was confusing. But yeah, her little top hat with a light bulb and her joints were light bulbs. I thought it was really cool. She had a neat design. She's like one of the like neatest designs in the game.
Yeah.
I liked her. And she had like the little, like if you look at the way that her shirt's designed, it looks like hearts. Like she has hearts going up, which is very fitting since like her and Zeke are like that.
Like that.
Like that. I don't know. I loved Zeke. He was probably my favorite character. My second favorite was original Poppy.
God, Poppy was good. And then they ruined her.
They didn't ruin her.
They ruined her
just
design. Excuse me.
gave extra Poppies that had bad design. And, like,
I mean,
the original Poppy's so wonderful.
I guess thankfully I never got, like, the third Poppy design, so I didn't have to bear witness to whatever that was.
You didn't get third Poppy design?
I never found or knew what that quest was, so no.
Oh, it's in his house.
Huh. That's weird. I was in his house like a few times, and like I never got it. So
Hmm.
also like I stopped doing Tiger after a while, so that's probably why as well.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do Tiger to get her
Well, I
third.
mean no, but that's just in that area. So
It's Tiger is awful
yeah,
and very hard. Very, very hard.
the aesthetic of it
Maybe that's
is
it.
pretty good.
I love the aesthetic. It was
Yeah, it's
impossible.
not fun to play.
I sent you a picture, or I'm sending you a picture of third Poppy, by the way,
Oh, let's get this
so that you
live
have to
reaction.
have to see this monstrosity that I had to see and what they did to our girl.
Oh boy, do I want to see this? No.
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, she did have a great name because she was Poppy Cutie Pie.
What did they do to her?
Yep. Yep. You can see the belly button, right?
Oh.
Yep. That's what they did to Poppy.
How did she also get like humanized features? This is real weird.
That's part of the quest. OG Poppy is best Poppy.
Yes.
We'll put it that way. And that was one thing. Like I always had OG Poppy following us around, and I was glad that they used her in the cutscenes
Yes.
because she's the best. I love Poppy. She was funny.
She was a real fun character.
She was cute. And she put a lot into the because she doesn't understand things because one, she's newborn, and two, she's a computer. But she adds like a lot of cute stuff. Like I sent you a picture, something to the effect of like Poppy not born yesterday, almost yesterday or something like that, but not yesterday.
Yes.
And I was like, that's so cute. Which is one thing that I want to bring up is that there's some really good dialogue in like the Blade quests.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, which I took a picture of, and I didn't know if I could ever send it to you, but I finished the Electra quest.
Oh, nice.
I did, and I had Electra on Zeke. And so when I finished the quest and she like powered up and everything, Zeke starts crying and he says, this must be how it feels to see my own daughter growing up. It was so funny.
So I wonder if that is like character specific, because like, I mean, I didn't finish it, but I think I had her on Morag.
I would be curious to see,
yeah,
if Zeke says anything, but yeah, he starts crying, like turns his face away from the camera and says it's like seeing my own daughter grow up.
it's real good.
I loved it. So you get fun dialogue between the Blades, despite the fact that a lot of them look terrible.
I like the beast one, Wolfric.
Wolfric's my fave.
And how like he's like this huge monster looking one, but he struggles like, I just want to be able to talk to people and hang out, and like they don't want him to scream and yell and run away from me.
He's so nice.
Except he always just yells like, ah.
Yeah, both of his affinity, his first heart to heart and then his affinity quests are both just like the cutest thing in all of existence. I love him. He's one of my favorite Blades.
He's very good.
Very, very good. Speaking of Blade quests that I'm still working on now, the worst Blade quest is on one of the cutest Blade designs, and it's so upsetting because I love her. The Ursula quest.
It's so time consuming.
It is so
it
time
doesn't
consuming.
need to be.
It should have been half of what it is.
It's ridiculous because, like, you know, it's tied to a lot of like the merc missions, which basically you can take a bunch of like the blades you aren't using and send them out on a mission, and they'll come back with like experience, gold, points to level up.
They get their skills.
Yeah, they get new skills, the points to level up your merc group, and items as well. And for this, like, you have to go out and send her up on training. So you level up her skills and vocals and looks and soul. And then basically through that, she's going to become like this pop star.
Plays like a traditional instrument.
Yeah. But like the first bit of that mission is, it's still time consuming, but like it's like, okay, level up these three things up to level 5 and then we'll talk. And then basically after that it's like, okay, well now she needs to get 5,000 fans. And you're like, okay, sure. That shouldn't be that bad. It's real bad.
It's real bad.
Cuz it just takes so long to level up those skills, and I think like you told me that you saw like you have to get all those skills to like 99, or you need to get 99 stamps to get up to 5,000 fans, essentially.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah, and just it takes so like going out and sending her out just to get one form of one of those stamps, one of the 3 stamps, is a 10-minute quest, and then you will get like 2 to 3 depending on which version of it you get, and you just have to keep doing those ad nauseum, and then eventually sometimes they'll sprinkle in like, okay, well she can go off and do a concert, and that will give you like 2 or 3 of all 3, but that'll take like 20 to 30 minutes this time. And it's so long and so just time consuming that it doesn't need to be. And B, like, at this point, like, the payoff's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, it sucks because I wanted to use her.
Yeah.
Because she's like this cute little ice girl with
a bear.
like a big polar bear, and it's great.
The one time I got to use her was at the very end of the game when you have to go fight your party members, and I had to use her against Morag because Morag was just destroying me constantly, and I was like at the point where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to beat this game.
Yeah, I was worried about that because
I was worried about it.
You were getting really upset. I was like, oh no.
Which can we talk about that for a second? Because I don't like that part. Because narratively, it feels like it doesn't make sense. Specifically from Rex. Like, the way, as much time as he's grown throughout that game by that point, and he's like, okay, I understand like what Pyro wants. I understand like what, our feelings are connected in this way. I got my group of friends with me. I know we have this common goal shared. Like, for him to just be like, I don't understand why they're so mad at me. It feels so weird and just like disingenuous, because I feel like at that point he'd be like, okay, like, yeah, sure, I am taking them on this long journey and like they're basically not getting anything out of it. I can understand that. And just for me, is for him to just like freak out and not understand why they're mad at him. Just, I don't know, like tonally it just did not feel like it should have been in that section of the game. Like, if you want to do that, like, do it earlier in the game.
I don't know. I disagree with you. Because they had just got to Elysium, which looked nothing like what he had described. It was nothing at all what he had said. Everybody's like, oh, this is what we came here for? And so it's kind of like his own sense of guilt that he's having to fight against.
Yeah, but like, I feel like they could have done that better. Like, at least portrayed like him having this guilt about it. Just him being like, why is everyone mad at me? I don't understand. I didn't think like having him just do that constantly throughout like all those battles, and then at the end as well, like it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I very fully disagree with you on that. I thought it worked really well, especially because like there was so much disappointment with everybody in the party once they got there.
See, like, yeah, I understand that. Like, I understand like everyone was disappointed. I understand that they would have been upset, and like obviously these are their deep like harboring emotions that they're hiding very well. I just think for Rex, like, I feel like at that point in time, with how far his character has gone from the beginning of the game to this point, he would have been a little bit more understanding than he is.
You don't think that he would have some kind of like question about himself at that point?
I mean, I think you could, but like I think as well, like he could also understand where they are coming from.
I don't think it's that he doesn't understand. Like I mean, he says I don't understand, but I think it's more of a like everybody's trying to fight me and this is upsetting type thing.
Yeah. But also like I mean they pretty much like they give their reasons of why they want to fight him like right before they fight him. So like he does understand why they want to fight him.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, like I just feel like it could have been done better.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I thought it worked really, really well. Although I did feel bad that I two-hitted Zeke.
That that fight being as easy as it is was so baffling because I was going into that fight being like, well, I am just screwed. Like, there is no way I'm going to beat both of them by myself. Like, I'm done. I'm done. This is where I hit the end point of the game. I'm not going to be able to beat this game. And then, like, I beat a Tora, like, real quickly. And I'm like, huh, that was weird. And then Zeke goes down, like, soon after that. Like, what the just happened?
Yeah, Tora took forever well, not forever, but Tora took longer for me to kill because he kept blocking everything I did. But then after Tora went down, I was like, "Hey Zeke, boop boop,",
Boop, boop.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm dead."
I would assume they understood that, like, hey, if they would have left them like powered up like Morag and Nia are, like, that fight would be probably impossible to do by yourself.
Well, and I feel like they have a lot less against you than
True.
Nia and Morag do. Like Zeke and Tora don't really have as much of a like tension with
Yeah.
Rex as Morag and Nia do. So I feel like that's part of it, is that they don't have as much motivation to be mad.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I think, like, it's like as well, like, one of the things that really kind of frustrated me for those fights, and just like in general, anytime this happened, is like anytime they took away Pyra from you, I did not like the combat of that game. Just for whatever reason, I think it could have just been like the way I had the blades I had, or just those styles that, like, I had set up that I was using. The combat just did not gel with me in the ways that, like, if I had Pyra set up, like, I could just, like, bam, 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 bam. I know what combos I'm hitting. I know what I want to do here. I know what I want to execute. I'm good to go. I'm confident that I could go through this battle. And when they take her away, I'm just like, well, I don't know. What am I doing? Help.
So did you not switch blades like during regular combat?
Honestly, no.
Oh, okay, that would be why.
Cause like anytime I'd have to fight, like, I could just use her, and it was fine. There was no worry, there was no issue. Unless I had to heal. Like, that would be the only time I kind of would go and switch. If, like, Nia for some reason wasn't healing, because sometimes the AI in this game doesn't really do what you want it to do, which is kind of bad.
Well, also, like, they have a load.
Yeah, they have loadouts as well.
They have cooldowns, which they had in the first game too, so that's normal.
Yeah, I feel like at some point though, like, there should be at least, like, maybe like a button or something that'll be like, hey, switch off of the blade you're on and heal me. I'm dying, please. Because, like, they'll switch to, if they have an affinity with your combo attack, like, they'll switch to that and just prioritize that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other stuff that she had wouldn't necessarily have, like, good healing on her. So, like, sometimes I would just get into trouble like that and just be in rough shape. So I was like, okay, I have to pull out this person to heal, because I'm not going to get healed at this point. So that's kind of bad. But yeah, like, I really didn't do a lot of blade switching. Well, to wrap back around.
Interesting, because see, I switch blades pretty often. So once I like got into the issue of like, oh, I don't have Pyro, I was like, oh, okay, I have these people that I know how to use. So I think the one situation where I didn't have the best setup was during the one-on-ones, because they set me up with a third blade that I wasn't as used to.
Yeah, because they just fill the spot in with someone.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, I don't really know how to use you, but I would put blades in and level them up a lot and put new chips on them. And so I was switching out pretty often to make my elemental combos. So there was that. But in terms of like her healing and stuff, like I said, I think that goes back to the first game, because like there's always going to be cooldowns, and Charla had the same dealio, and like they have cooldowns on being able to switch blades back too.
Right. I think that for me personally, it's a problem with having AI partners. Like, specifically for RPGs, I'm not a big fan of AI partners.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, I didn't like it in Persona 3 either.
It worked pretty well, in my opinion, in Xenoblade, and I think it worked fine here.
I think, like, there was, like, it wasn't a lot of times where I would get kind of frustrated with it, or at least with, like, some of those characters, and, like, not doing what I kind of would want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for the most part, like, yeah, it was fine. But like sometimes like during like a lot of like the long extended boss fights, there was a couple times where I'd be like, hey, especially because like on the final boss specifically, there are times where everyone's just standing around doing nothing because they can't attack,
Right.
and we would be like at half health and she wouldn't heal.
That's weird.
So I was like, this is a weird thing to not do here.
But she might have not had enough of the buildup from hitting things to be able to use it. Because you have to hit things to build up
Yeah,
your
you're right, but
skills.
like I went through that boss fight twice, and both times when there would be extended lull periods where you can't hit him, and you're just standing around doing nothing, she wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, like I said, it's most likely a situation where she didn't have the buildup to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it felt weird that like maybe it's just a thing where like, hey, if they can't attack, they also can't do these secondary skills, and they're just not going to try. They're like, that's just baked into the AI.
Yeah,
So.
I mean that's because you can't try to heal if you're not able to heal.
Yeah. It just for me it was like, this is a weird thing that we can't do here. So, not something I'm mad about. Just I thought it was strange. I don't
Just defending.
I don't remember what we were going through with that point. Oh yeah, just talking about blade switching and all that stuff. But yeah, I think as well like another problem I was having, and that was getting me real frustrated, is like a lot of the healers I have were of the they had the ball weapon, and that thing takes so long to attack because like you pull it out, you hit him with it, it has to bounce back to you, and then like you stop for a second, and then you go back into the motion. So like I was not able to get enough of like the juice to do any of the skills, and I was just like dead. So that's when I brought out Ursula, because she has like the claw weapons, and you just go up there and just start beating the shit out of people, and you can rack up the stuff real quickly. Then I was like, okay, this is real good. And that was how I luckily took out a Borag there, because I was able to get off a good combo to like the second phase, and that took like a good decent chunk of her damage, and I was also able to get like potions off of it, so I was able to heal back up and just basically wallop on her to finish the fight. And I was like, oh my god, thank god. It was scary, so I thought that was going to be the wall. And also the final boss as well, I thought that was going to be the wall. Actually, I didn't really feel like that was going to be the wall, because there's that stretch right before the final boss where like you're in that hangar and you can fight those big old mechs.
The big dudes.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them, and they're all like high 60s levels. So like, yeah, I was able to I just fought those like a couple of times and picked up like 2 levels, and then for that final boss I was fine.
Yeah, which you texted me afterwards. I took down the final boss really quick.
Yeah, I mean you were like what 6 to 7, 8 levels ahead of it, so
yeah, I'm level 77.
yeah,
so.
I would just I had high confidence in you that you would be able to take that thing out easily. Were you did the big attack it did do anything bad to you? Like did it just like take everyone down to 0 and then Tora to 1 and he just heal back up and then pick you guys back up?
I don't even think he used it. I don't
it's
remember
an attack
that
when he gets
happening.
like down to a quarter health, basically.
Hmm.
If he didn't use it on you, I'm jealous.
I mean, maybe he did, and I just didn't realize it because
It basically
it'll
insta Rex and Nia, but Tora has a skill where he can survive an attack and be at 1 health, and then basically for me he would just heal back up again, like start auto healing, and then he just comes over and picks you up, and you're basically kind of at half health because like because Malice's mech kind of takes a while to come back in. And that's kind of what that screwed me over the first time, is that like we just didn't get enough healing in time and it just got wiped. But then it was just like, okay, we got enough healing, and then from that point on it was fine.
If it did happen, I wasn't paying attention and I missed it. I know that sounds terrible.
That's
but
fair.
There were a lot of times that I would just let the combat go and like do something else. And since finals are coming in today,
yeah.
So if it happened, I missed it, and probably a good thing if it happened and I missed it, because I probably would have panicked.
I mean, I did twice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
So I have a question.
Okay.
If I talk about the end, do you want me to tell you what happened, or are you afraid that it's going to spoil Xenoblade 1 for you?
No, go ahead.
Because this is, if we talk about the ending, it's going to have to be like a spoiler alert for Xenoblade 1
I
and 2.
was I was aware of that, so I figured that's what we would do anyway. So hey, you don't want to get spoilers of like Chronicles 1, a game that's like what, like 8 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, tune out for the next like 5 minutes or something.
All right, we ready?
Okay, so the preface, though, the first time they show Klaus,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like in space, like cool. I was like, hey, space, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that made me kind of think that he was from the first game
Mm-hmm.
is that his model looked like it was from the first game. When they show the cutscene in the
Yeah.
past, so I was like the art on it looked different enough from this game, so I was like, that looks like it should be from the first game. Maybe this guy was in the first game. I don't know. Shrug shoulders. We're in
Yes.
space. That's cool. Space is the place.
He's a big character of 1. So basically what happens in Xenoblade 1 is that
It's running
Professor
time.
Klaus is working on a space station, and he's working with his lady partner, and decides that essentially he wants to play God and mess with some worlds. And she's trying to convince him, no, this is a bad idea. You shouldn't do it. And he does it anyway. And when he does that, it creates the Bionis and the Mechonus from the first game.
Okay.
And he becomes Zanza. And so Zanza is basically this godlike figure throughout Xenoblade 1 who is actually Klaus. The lady partner from the ship basically becomes Mainith, who is the goddess of the Mechonus. And so the ending of the game essentially has you taking on Klaus as Zanza, who has ascended to godlike status at this point. Because Shulk isn't alive. Shulk has never been alive.
Wait, what?
I mean,
What?
Shulk was alive as like a child, and he died. And then Zanza was able to bring him back to life. Sound familiar?
All right.
And Zanza was essentially using him, which is also why when you see Zanza's character model, it doesn't look like Klaus, it looks like Shulk. So when Shulk in Xenoblade 2 says something like, today we're going to take down a god, that's what he says right before they fight Zanza. So the ending of 2, what's going on is that Klaus was essentially ripped in half by his godlike machine.
Right, and they basically make that very explicit. Like, and I think it says somewhere like, "Oh, the other half of me is somewhere else entirely," like something like that, right?
Yep, and he's Zanza.
And like, I was figuring at some point, like, okay, well, they're gonna show where the other half is at some point,
Nope.
and then they never do. So I was like, well, okay, whatever.
They hint at it because of Shulk's voice saying that. So the other half of Klaus is Zanza in 1. So these games are happening simultaneously.
Which is nothing you would expect.
Mm-mm. And so what he's saying is that once that version of him is killed by Shulk and crew, the entirety of him will disappear.
Right.
So you're on a time limit because you're going against Shulk, essentially. And I just thought that was so cool. It was a good way to tie them together.
Yeah.
And again, it's neat that they have, I don't want to say tropes of Xenoblade, but like both of your main characters are essentially dead to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating. But so to have Klaus in there, like once they said Klaus, I was like, holy shit, are you joking? And the one thing that I think is significant is that it talks about the 3 Aegises.
3 Aegises.
Yeah, Aegis. I almost said that. Um, so there's Malos, there's Pyra,
And there's that third
and
one
then
that's
there's a
missing.
missing
Yeah.
one. And
Which he,
based on context clues,
because he said, because Klaus basically was like, says something to the effect of that third one is lost to time and space or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Based on context clues, I'm guessing it's Alvis from the first game.
Alvis and the Chipmunks.
Because Alvis was originally the name of his computer, Klaus's computer. And so the connection in that is like, oh, once this world came to be, I came to be part of this because of his connection and da 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 da. But because of the powers that Alvis had, it makes a lot of sense for him to be the missing one. He doesn't have the symbol, but I don't know that he necessarily had to have the symbol. I could be wrong, and people could hit us up on our Twitter and be like, hey, I have this other theory, but I really, really think it's Alvis.
All right. So
side note, Loki's apparently bored because he's snoring.
Getting that sleep in. So basically, the two games are like, I guess from what I'm gathering, they're parallel universes to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Both made by Klaus trying to play God.
Pro tip, don't play God.
Don't play God. And again, like that's a theme throughout Xenoblade is that there's always a character that's like, hey, what if I played God? What if I became a god? And you don't do it. It's a bad idea. So I just thought it was super rad that like this version of Klaus was like, oh man, I really, really boned things up here. I gotta fix it. And so you have like his counterpart in Shulk's world causing chaos and trying to destroy everything, and then this guy's like, ah, shit, I gotta fix it all.
I'm just gonna stand up here in space and float and try and fix things.
So I thought it was a really, really cool way to tie them both together. And to me, it made everything like tie together in terms of this story. It was like, oh, okay, this all makes sense. This is a really cool way to end it. I loved when I heard Shulk. It excited me.
Yeah, because you freaked out, and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Because I thought you meant like they showed him at some point. I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Nah.
You're like, no, it's his voice. I was like, well, okay. I would not have got that, so.
Yeah, it's a line he says right before the final boss, so. Yep.
That sounds like real cool. Like I think that's a real interesting way to like tie these two games together.
I thought so. I mean, I was friggin' stoked.
Because it's not the way you would expect it to do. Expect them to do that.
You wouldn't. I was just happy, like, because Adam Howden, whatever you want to say, however his name is pronounced, he is also Klaus. So I was like, oh, hey, he's back. It's his voice. And then, like, I heard him as Shulk, and I'm like, ah, this is exciting. So it made everything a lot more impactful for me.
Yeah, I would bet.
The bonus ending.
Sure, so let's talk about that. Let's get this out of the way.
Well, so I guess we should mention that Pyra decides that she is going to sacrifice herself to save everybody else, and including the world of all rest, because the world tree is going to collapse, and it's going to fall on everybody, and it's going to be bad.
Which, her plan isn't really that much different than just the world tree collapsing. Like, that's still going to fall onto Earth. Except now it's going to be a lot of tiny pieces falling onto Earth.
Yeah, but tiny pieces falling to Earth is a lot easier to handle than giant bits falling to Earth.
Still can do
NASA
damage.
will tell you that.
It's true. So yeah, like they make this huge like thing, like, oh, she's sacrificing herself, like she doesn't want Rex to go with her and save her, or like try and talk her out of it. Like,
oh my god, and Poppy
is so sad.
Because he's like, I'll just take Poppy. Poppy can take me over there, and it's like, Poppy can't take you.
She made promise.
It's like, oh, Poppy. Also, it was strange that this girl who's like a robot and just a few days old knows the phrase below the belt.
Computers are smart.
True.
I did find it funny that, like, eventually, Pyro's like, okay, go into one of these, like, shuttle pods, and that'll get you out of here. And when they go in there, Rex is just like, all right, I know how to do this. And just, like, starts typing on the keyboard. I'm like, how do you know how to do that? What are you doing?
Well, because none of them can figure out how to work them at first.
No, but he just, like, starts, like, typing, like, very dramatically. Like, he knows, like, he's going to somehow start it. I'm like, I feel like if this was real life, he would just be like, what the do I do? Help. There's so many different panels. Oh, God. We're boned.
Maybe he knows some stuff from his salvaging.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, all that stuff still, that technology, I guess, is still there, even though it's, like, all ruins now, so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that. Because Nia's at one, and she's like, I don't know what's going on. I can't make this work.
And then Pyro's like, boop. I pressed the button. You're good. Get out of here.
She throws her crystal at him.
And they make, like, her sacrifice mean something, which I was like, okay, that's surprising. Like, they're actually going to, like, kill her off. And, like, okay. You're going to have to, Rex is going to have to figure out, like, hey, what do I do now without her? So you get all that. They fall down to Earth. Gramps turns back into a big old Titan.
Because Pyro gave him the energy to do so.
Yep. So everyone...
Which, he was cuter when he was tiny.
He was. So everyone, like, grabs onto him and rides off, and they're like, okay, hey, everything's gone. Oh, that's bad. Well, and then you get credits.
Well, everybody's kind of, they see that the Titans, like, start crashing into the, like, existing land masses.
I laugh so hard at that because they're just going face first into these rocks, like, boom, it is crashing. Yeah, like, I was like, what are you doing? That's gonna hurt. Don't go face first into a giant rock.
Yep.
So they make their fake Pangea.
They do. Out of Titan bodies.
And then you get credits, like we said. Blah, 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 blah. Here's all these people that made the game, blah, 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 blah.
Cheesy song. I hated
Cheesy
the song.
Blah, 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 blah. And then you cut back, and you're back on Gramps. You're still flying around.
Back on Gramps.
Meanwhile, back on Gramps. And then, like, the crystal thingy starts to glow again. And then somehow Pyra and Mithra show up.
Yeah.
As two different people.
That's what I don't like, is that it's two different people.
I don't like that it's two different people, and also that, like, they just basically like, hey, we decided that we want to go for a happy ending and have her come back and make her entire sacrifice meaningless.
I know I texted you this. I was kind of hoping in a weird way that, like, they've been saying so much that, like, once a blade goes back into their crystal, like, they don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping that, like, she wouldn't remember everything and they would just kind of have to start over. I know that sounds awful.
I think I would have been more fine with that.
Yeah, I would have too, but didn't happen.
But no, it's just like everyone's like, oh, yay. And they just, like, make it seem like nothing's happened. She's okay. She remembers everything.
Poppy hugs.
Let's just have a happy ending for some reason.
But, like, I was texting you. I'm like, this makes it really complicated because they both have feelings for Rex. Like, both Mithra and Pyra had feelings for Rex as the same person.
Well,
don't say it. Oh my God. It was upsetting. You know what wasn't upsetting though, and I want to mention this because it was funny and it made me laugh a lot.
What wasn't upsetting?
When Klaus was talking to Rex and he's like, so what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna punch Malice a lot, then I'm gonna go take him for a drink. That's the salvager code.
But I can't drink, I'm not old enough.
But I can't drink, I'm not old enough. And I'm like, that is the funniest thing. He's like, I'm gonna punch him and drink, but I can't drink.
Well, he kind of punched him, but he didn't get the drink with him.
Yeah, whoops. I thought it was really funny.
It was, yeah. It was not what I was expecting. I was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So there were parts about the ending that I really loved, and then that part I was kind of like, you know, I would like it more if one, she either didn't remember, or two, they came back as the same person again.
Right.
Maybe both.
Yes. Also, they tried to make Mal
Although,
sympathetic, and I was like, nope, not having this.
yeah, I didn't feel any sympathy for him. He was terrible.
He's like, oh man, if we would have met sooner, I'm like, well, you. I would have kicked your ass again anyways. It wouldn't have mattered.
Punch you and take you out for a beer.
Ugh. But yeah, like that bonus ending, I was like,
Yeah. One thing that I guess is kind of complicated because of the fact that it is Japanese voice sync is that when somebody says something to Pyra about like basically what she found out about this life, and then she says it, but there's no actual vocalization or subtitles.
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what she said.
which speaking of that reminds me, whenever they have Ursula perform, they have her playing the instrument, but also like it looks like she's singing, and like the crowd will comment on her singing.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have the Japanese dub, so I couldn't check or anything. Like, I wonder if she does sing in the Japanese dub, and they just didn't do it for the English dub.
I don't know. I would guess it probably not.
But like, it's so weird that like they would mimic her singing and then also have the crowd say, "Man, she's really good at singing, huh?" Like if they weren't going to do that, like it's a weird thing.
Yeah, I didn't think that it would be in either version because it's not like a huge deal. Like maybe I don't know. It's not like a big part of the story, so I figured they just didn't bother having her voice that.
Yeah. But like I think a lot of the other times, like where you see like the non-voice parts, where it's like someone like whispering something or something like that seems to be the key indication. It's like, oh, we're gonna whisper this thing, and then you'll find out about it later.
Yeah.
Even though this game,
and for the most part, you did find out later. That was just the one that you didn't.
Even though this game has that weird narrative thing of like, okay, we have to tell you, okay, we're going to talk about this thing, but you know about this thing that we're going to talk about, so let's fade to black, and we're going to fade back in. Oh, yes, we did talk about that thing. You already know, so don't worry about it. It was such a weird thing, because like, if you came back to this game like after a while and didn't know exactly what was happening, it wouldn't help you. It's like, it's a weird part of like the narrative, like trying not to insult your intelligence, but also thinking like, oh, you might forget some of this stuff. Like, whoops. Such a weird thing.
I didn't even notice it until you brought it up.
I saw it happen like 2 or 3 times. I was like, it keeps doing this. That's weird. I don't know. I can't find like a good justification of why they would do that. Like, I understand like maybe just like you don't need to beat yourself over the head of like this information that you already know. Because there was like the one example when like the 3 heads of state are like meeting, and they're like, okay, well who's behind all these attacks? And it's like, okay, we know it's Torna, and it fades to black, and it comes back in. They're like, Torna? I didn't realize those terrorists were behind this. It's like, did you really need to fade to black there? It's real weird. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's real weird. Put that on the box.
I mean, yeah, parts of it are weird. I liked it.
You did. Well, let me ask you this. I'm gonna make you have the unfair comparison.
Oh no.
Which did you like better?
I can't answer that. Because I like them in different ways. Like, I can't say that I like one better than I like the other. I just really can't.
And also, you have recency with this game compared to the other one, so like.
Well, like I said, I've been playing the other one with my brother.
Well, yeah, true. I'm just saying, like, this game hasn't had enough time to like, you know, stew and mediate and to allow you to, like, to really make that comparison.
I will definitely say I like it better than Cross.
I mean, this game didn't have any mechs that you could play.
I would say it had mechs.
Oh, the fact that you don't get to pilot that cool ass mech that Malice pilots at the very end of the game, even though like they show Pyra in front of it. Man, that's such a missed opportunity. It could have been so
But
cool.
I liked it way better than I liked Cross.
So I never finished Cross, so like,
Well, I didn't either because I got
yeah.
locked out of the final boss fight.
I
So,
and also like I think like Cross at some points was like a real grind, I think, as well, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean, it was less story based and
Yeah.
more quest
And
based,
had mechs.
and it had mechs. But
Yeah.
I don't care about as mechs as you do.
So yeah, sometime down the road you'll be able to better, I think, make the comparison between the two games of which you like better or not.
Yeah, and I mean, original Xenoblade was like one of the best RPGs I'd played in recent years when it came out. So I was like, this is amazing. So I was real stoked when there was a sequel, and I'm happy that I like it, because I would have been disappointed if I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't like the gachapon, and I don't like all the like sexualization, but like for the most part, I really like the game.
Yeah, like I think like I come across as a little bit more negative than you, like probably a lot more negative than you. But let's be real, like I wouldn't put nearly 80 hours into this game if I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's true. You would have quit a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Without the game trying to force me to quit. And obviously you would not put 150 plus hours in this game if you didn't like it, so.
Correct. And honestly, if I didn't have other stuff that I had to do, I would continue playing it. And I probably will like put a few hours into it every day to do some quests, but I can't dedicate like 12 hours a day to it anymore.
And honestly, like as well, I would say like don't play this game for 12 hours a day.
I did.
I mean, yes, because we had to quickly get this game done so we could talk about it.
No, but I was fine. I liked doing it.
I mean, yeah, I would. For some people, yeah, that can be true. But like, I did this for this game, and then I also did it, I think, just recently for Yakuza 0, and it's exhausting. Like, for some games, you can be like, yeah, okay, but doing it back to back on games, like, don't do that. It's bad for you. It's kind of like when I finished this game, I was actually kind of just relieved that like I don't have to play. I don't have to think about playing anything else for the rest of the year. And like that's so like that took like such a weight off my shoulders. Like,
well,
I can breathe.
I mean, you know, they don't know, but you know, I've been putting off beating it.
Yeah.
I've been putting it off for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
So, whoops.
Even though you can just go back and do all the quests that you hadn't finished.
I know. I just wanted to like go in as my best self.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
And also, I was just afraid that I'd get locked out of stuff.
No, you wouldn't.
I didn't know. Now I know.
You knew 2 days ago when I beat the game.
Yeah. Well, still, I wanted to be my best self.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's a long game.
It is a long game. It's worth it though.
I think that's a key thing to like at least know what you're getting into, because like this game is going to be over in 10 hours. Not even that. So.
No.
You have to be prepared that you're going to be in the if you want to get through this game.
It's a time dedication.
You are going to be in it for the long haul.
Maybe don't do Ursula's quest. But also it's worth doing some of it because Ursula's New Groove is the best team name ever.
It's true. Even though I think by the end of it I was like, okay, I get it. Ursula's New Groove after hearing it for like the 100th time.
I loved it. I love the game. It was great.
The last big release of the year.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I don't know. Versus Super Mario Brothers comes out next week, so.
What?
The arcade version of Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, right.
The true last big release of the year.
I forgot that was coming out.
Oh yeah, it is.
My bad.
Is there anything else you want to mention?
I don't really have anything else to mention. I've said most of what I wanted to say, I think. Can you think of anything that I had said like throughout playing it that I haven't brought up?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I will once we stop recording. I'm like, oh right,
Yeah.
this and this, but as of now, no. I think we covered. I mean, like we said, this is a 80-hour game, so like trying to talk about everything is kind of a nigh on impossible thing. So
One thing I do want to say, and I think I probably mentioned it already. I love Zeke.
you do.
I love Zeke. He reminds me of Joseph Joestar, and that's all I needed of life. But Zeke is great, and I was very, very happy when I found out he was my party member. I'm sorry that the one guy died, but I will gladly take Zeke instead.
Because you mentioned you kind of spoiled it for me. Like, okay, yeah, I have 5 party members. I was like, okay, well, I have Morag. Who is this last one gonna be? Like, I didn't even think to consider him. And then like, by the time I started to think to consider him, he was just like hanging around us the entire time. So like, oh, okay, well that makes sense.
You knew there was going to be 5 because there's 5 slots.
Okay, yeah, that's true as well.
So I didn't spoil that.
I know the dangerous spoiler of how many party members you get.
Well, and I was trying to be very, very careful until, like, you asked me, is it somebody that I met before? I'm like, ooh, if I tell you this, you're probably going to figure it out.
Honestly, you could have told me that, and I probably still would not have figured it out at that point.
Mm.
Because I wasn't even thinking him.
He's great, and I'm happy that he exists.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. I love Zeke.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Holy crap. This is our first, like, near 2-hour podcast that we've done in quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it because I put right now 159 hours?
Probably.
What is my life?
It's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's your life is owned by it now.
It's true.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. The last big release of the year, and also kind of like the last big singular game focused podcast we're gonna do this year.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the last like current focused podcast thing we're gonna kind of do this year. Well, I mean the last thing we do for the year will be like that, but specifically focus on one thing. Yeah, that's current.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. For more from us, go to Checkup.com or sac.cool for past episodes of this very podcast and other podcasts as well, such as the Season Language Checkup and Jared and I watch Sailor Moon Crystal, where, hey, we're diving into Season 2 of Sailor Moon Crystal now, so chugga choo choo on over and listen to that. You can follow Al at Ladyem.com, where you can find all her cool columns, reviews, all that fun stuff. I forgot the word for columns there for a hot second. I was real concerned.
Whoops
indeed.
Brain fart.
You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/anime checkup, where we tweet. Tweet. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA, if you want to get hot, uncensored episodes like this without all the bleeps and cleaned up, so it's real nice for public release.
You get all kinds of weird gaps.
Weird gaps, all that fun stuff.
But also you get to hear me curse a lot,
yes.
so.
Get all those curses.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that on Patreon if you want to support this cool podcast that we do. Next week, we got a little fun bonus episode for you. Well, not a bonus episode, but just a little fun holiday episode for you, because by the time the next week's episode comes out, it'll be like 2 days before Christmas.
Yep.
So what better way to ring in the holidays than by watching a holiday-based movie?
Yay!
And by that, I mean a movie that takes place during the holidays. So,
Come along.
If you've listened to, Jared and I will watch Sailor Moon Crystal, we've been diving through Sailor Moon and all that stuff. And we're going to take a look at a Sailor Moon film that takes place during Christmas. We're going to watch Sailor Moon S of the movie. But the caveat being that, and Jared and I watch Sailor Moon Crystal, we have been watching the English dub. For the first time ever, I and also you, we're going to subject ourselves to the original English dub of Sailor Moon.
Yep.
In an actual episode or a movie based form. Like, obviously we've seen clips, but I've never seen an actual episode of that original 90s dub.
Oh my god. Should be fun.
So that is going to be something.
I'm excited, Bike.
I bet a lot of us are going to be like, No, that character doesn't sound like that. What's going on? Oh God, what? No.
It's like me and BAP in Japanese. I'm like, that's not right.
So yeah, look forward to that. That'll be a fun little holiday episode, and then yeah, that'll also be the penultimate episode of 2017.
Man, this year needs to end. F this year.
Yeah.
It's been awful.
Yeah. So look forward to some fun stuff next week, and also us probably just being like, oh God, help, Americanized names. This dub. What is happening? And also Tuxedo Mask ripping off a Santa costume.
Yeah, that's amazing.